Winston Sih is here, everyone. Joining me and Mary Jo. Yeah. So, you know what? Mary Jo, we cooked together, and then I thought to myself, Winston's going to be talking about the rules of online dating. Right. So let me go talk to Mary Jo and see if she's on there online dating. Are you online dating?
No, I'm way too scared.
You're too scared. Have you tried?
I have tried, and I've had some experiences. Let's put it that way. But you know, I just feel Google gets in the way of online dating, right? I mean, okay, this is probably a question for you because you're an expert. Do you put your name, or do you like have a cool handle? What do you do?
Well, like, how do you do it? How do you do it right? What sites do you go to?
Like,
what's
what disclosure? You know, what do you do?
I mean, it depends on what site you're on, whether you have your handle or your real name, but it really is that first step that scares a lot of people.
Right.
It's really, I'm going to kind of put my first foot out in this whole new world.
Yeah.
It's the first puddle, really.
Yeah.
So
it really is. So the question we put out to our viewers was, do you have rules? Do you have rules when it comes to online dating? Do you have rules when it comes to sex in the online dating world? And we got a few responses.
So we were asking people, how long do you wait? Do you wait a few dates? Do you wait 10 dates? Where do you go?
Yeah.
3 dates.
3 dates. That was the rule for a very long time, 3 dates. I don't know if it's the rule anymore. Some people are still guided by it. Mary Jo is.
Yeah. 4.
Maybe 4.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe 2.
Maybe
I don't know.
2.
I just pushed it there.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. It depends.
Depending on the guy.
Well, as Half Century had said to us, glad I won't have to navigate that minefield ever again. Scary places. And that's one thing a lot of people feel. So Jordana wrote us saying, you need to buy me dinner 10 times, and I need to feel like we're practically soulmates before you climb into my bed. Doesn't necessarily mean sex.
I want that to be my daughter.
Yeah.
At age, at age 21.
And my
I want
son
her to,
towards women.
Yes. That's what I like, that answer a lot.
Yeah.
We got another one from Claudette. She says, none, no sex until I'm comfortable in knowing it's not just sex. That's an important point, depending on what your
connection.
That's right.
But how do you know?
How do you know?
How do you know if it's not just sex? Like, what if you really like somebody and the sex is bad? Like, what do you...
That's a really sad story.
Yeah, it's a sad story.
You know
I think it's a sad story.
I say to the question of how do you know, I think it's also a matter of full disclosure. And when we get to the rules, I think that you have to actually go out there and say, hey, I'm looking for an intimate relationship, but mostly I want a partner. Like, I'm actually looking for something long term. And I know it sounds like I'm from 1895, because apparently you're not supposed to say that to men.
No, you're not.
But if you don't say it, then you can get stuck in this situation that's completely casual when you want something serious, right?
Right.
You almost want him to run away so you know that he's not going to be one of those people on your list.
Right.
How about you? You online date?
I have done it. I have done my research for this segment.
Just for the segment.
Just for the segment.
Yes.
I have done it, and you know what? There's something refreshing about knowing that online someone can tell you what they want. So you can read their profile, and you know whether they want just a more casual relationship or they want the life partner.
Yes.
Whereas, you know, it almost catches you off guard a little bit when they say that I met someone at a bar. It's like, what were they doing at the bar? What do they want? It's strange when you hear someone meets in real life.
Yeah.
This is stigma as well. We were talking about this earlier.
To meet in real life?
No,
to meet online.
Oh, online.
That you feel like you're going to be ashamed when you tell someone that I met someone I'm seeing online.
Although I find that interesting because most people are meeting people online.
How else do you meet people?
That's the thing.
How else do you meet people? Except I have some horror stories of some of my friends online dating.
Go on, dish.
Okay, well, this is bad luck, but she went on an online date with this guy who didn't fully disclose. So what do you do in this situation? She went on the date and he had one arm. Like, what do you do?
He had one arm?
He had one arm. He didn't disclose that he had one arm.
So the situation is not that he only has one arm.
It was a disclosure.
I might not necessarily care if you have one arm or one leg or whatever, but why wouldn't you tell me that so that I'm prepared?
Every date she went on, there was something that wasn't fully disclosed about the person that she was with, because she went on a full-on dating, you know, full-on, and that's why she got discouraged. It goes back to what we were talking about. Is how do you do full disclosure and still make your profile appealing, and, you know, how do you do that?
It's almost having...
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think you got to put the warts out there.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's what I would do. I would be like, I would throw it all out there. By the way, these are all extensions. The eyelashes are fake, and I got a full face of makeup this morning in our makeup department. I've got some cellulite on the back of my thighs. So I'm looking for a husband.
The whole deal.
And you almost have to put it all out there, because then at least there's no, I don't want to be embarrassed when you show up and you notice the pictures from grade 10.
Right, exactly.
Not from
in your cheerleading costume.
last week.
Yeah.
Right?
The reality is you don't want to scare people away.
Yeah.
I think it's important. I think there's a way of putting yourself out there without putting it all out there. I think it's important to not mislead someone. I think some people will put pictures of them from 10 years ago and think that it's okay doing so. Do not do that.
Do not do that.
Because you're going to get caught.
You're going to get hurt.
You're going to get caught.
They're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
You're not in a good place.
Winston actually went out there and found out some of the etiquette, the dating rules. And so one of them, be prepared for the platform. So different sites mean different things. And you were talking a little bit about this. Tinder is not the same as, say, OkCupid.
No.
Hopefully, if you're looking for a relationship, you can skip just looking at physical attributes and go straight to somewhere where you actually have a profile of a person.
But you know what's really interesting, because I do have a lot of single hot friends who are male. And what they say to me about Tinder, which is really interesting, they go on Tinder for their ego. So they go and you know, if somebody comes on to see them and they see who swipes them and who appreciates them, and they actually don't even go out on the dates. They use it as a total ego boost.
Really?
So
they really,
many
really
do.
They don't actually put themselves.
Game.
They don't put themselves out there. They're too nervous. But if they get, you know, sort of the kudos coming their way through the Tinder thing, that sort of does the trick for them on that level, which I thought was interesting.
So it's almost like I could date her, but I am not going to.
I'm choosing to break up with her even before I start dating her.
I'm choosing not to engage.
Right.
But let's put all of the rules up on our website.
Absolutely.
Just a few little tidbits that you found that might help you guide you with your online dating, and tell us your stories. We love to hear them.